everyone. All right, we're going to pick back up with, by the way, and I said Gabbard is at 1%, Castro's at 1% as well.
Thank you, Dana, and good evening. You know, just a few days ago, we were reminded and inspired by our fellow Americans in Puerto Rico that public service is not fundamentally about any of us. It's about you and your family.
Stop. Julian, I'm sorry. Let's talk about Puerto Rico if you want to talk about Puerto Rico. And the answer is that the Puerto Rican government, which opposed President Trump, went out and there are thousands, tens of thousands of bottles of water that were not given to the people of Puerto Rico. And I am a Puerto Rican. And were not given out to the people. My family on the island did not get water because the government of Puerto Rico didn't like President Trump and wanted to have something to use against him and said, hey, we're not going to allow this so that we can make a political point. That's corruption. So don't tell me about Puerto Rico and its government with a governor who just got ousted because of the corruption, because of the fact that he wasn't giving water to the people who needed it. And I didn't hear the Democrats come out and say, hey, he's got all this water. We know it's there. It's been given. Why isn't it given out to the people? I'm sorry, that's wrong. But please do continue.
I want you to know that if I'm elected president, that I will work hard every single day so that you and your family can have good health care when you need it, so that your children and grandchildren can get a good education, so that they can reach their dreams, and that you can have good job opportunities, whether you live here in a big city like Detroit or in a small town in our country.
Stop again. Okay, so Julian, let's remember, you're just saying exactly what President Obama said. It's hope, it's change, it's Obamacare, it's the Obama stimulus. You just said the same things. You want everyone to have health care. We have it. Matter of fact, isn't that what Obamacare was supposed to do? Wasn't Obamacare supposed to give everyone perfect health care and make sure it was affordable for everyone? That's why it's called the Affordable Care Act. And you're telling me that, well, that didn't work. Well, the Democratic solution is the solution you're now telling me doesn't work. Why do I believe the Democratic solution of single payer is going to work? Let's think about that logically. You're saying, don't worry, follow Democratic policies, you'll be okay. We followed Democratic policies and we're not okay. So something seems to be fundamentally wrong with this. But let me go back to your time.
I know we have a wonderful, special nation, but that too many people are struggling. And I know what that's like too. I grew up with a single mom in a poor neighborhood. But like many of you, I don't want to make America anything again. I don't want us to go backward. We're not going back to the past. We're not going back where we came from. We're going to move forward. We're going to make America better than it's ever been in the years to come. Let's do that together.
Okay, let's go back to the commentary. I have very little time. So there's nothing wrong with making America great again. That doesn't mean you're moving backwards. That just means that you're attaining something you had before, which is greatness. And there's nothing wrong with that. But let me also ask you, again, what is it that you're moving forward to? Is it to socialism so we can become more like Venezuela? Is it towards progressivism? Is it towards gender identity politics? What is it that you want to move America to? You're saying we're not great. You're mimicking the words of Andrew Cuomo, Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York, who said that America was never great. Okay, then tell me, what is your goal? What is the end goal here? Where are you going to bring America to? He didn't answer that, and I would have to question, why won't you answer that? Well, I think we all can understand why. But let's go on to the next person, Andrew Yang, who's at 1.6%.
Andrew Yang.
If you've heard anything about me and my campaign, you've heard that someone is running for president who wants to give every American $1,000 a month. I know this may sound like a gimmick, but this is a deeply American idea, from Thomas Paine to Martin Luther King to today.
Stop. Okay. No, it is not. It is a gimmick. You're wrong, Andrew Yang. It is a gimmick by your own definition. Matter of fact, if anyone looks up his campaign or listens to him answer a question about this campaign, is everyone in America going to get $1,000? No, you are not. It is based on your income. It is based on your job and your need. And even if you're getting government aid right now, that means you don't get $1,000. It means he's going to cut that number. If you're getting no government aid and you have a certain income, you will get a portion of that. No, he's not giving $1,000 to everyone. That is a lie. He is misrepresenting his own policy, and I will go back to his time.
Let me tell you why we need to do it and how we pay for it. Why do we need to do it? We already automated away millions of manufacturing jobs, and chances are your job could be next.
Stop. Let's go back to it. Why did we automate the jobs? In particular, like in fast food, like at McDonald's, because of minimum wages, because of requirements and regulations by Democrats on private business, which is why private business under President Obama had an 8-year decline and failed, because you prevented people from being able to create businesses like manufacturing that would allow people to be employed. So let's get this straight. It's your own policies that you're promoting that have been the one that did the damage.
If you don't believe me, just ask an auto worker here in Detroit. How do we pay for it? Raise your hand in the crowd if you've seen stores closing where you live. It is not just you. Amazon is closing 30% of America's stores and malls and paying zero in taxes while doing it. We need to do the opposite of much of what we're doing right now, and the opposite of Donald Trump is an Asian man who likes math. So let me share the math. $1,000 a month for every adult would be $461 million every month right here in Detroit alone. The automation of our jobs is a central challenge facing us today. It is why Donald Trump is our president, and any politician not addressing it is failing the American people.
All right, let's stop. All right, I'm getting my time. Okay, you didn't address how do you pay for it. You said, let me tell you, why do we need it and how do we pay for it? You didn't. Then you said, I'm an Asian man who does math. Well, let's finish the math equation. Because yes, you said 461 million. That's $5.5 billion for Detroit alone. Where does that money come from? You didn't answer that. And that's an important question, because if you actually do the math, it's $3.1 trillion for the United States if everyone got $1,000, which they won't. Approximately $1.7 trillion based on your math on who gets money and who doesn't. And where does $1.7 trillion in new spending come from? That would mean that America's going to be spending about $6 trillion a year. We bring in about $3.8 trillion in taxes. Where is the extra money coming from? Are we printing it, which would devalue the money and therefore cause hyperinflation and make the United States a Weimar Republic? Are we going to super tax the poor, the middle class, to be able to make up this difference? I'm sorry, Mr. Asian man who does math, finish the math equation and answer the questions you raised yourself. Stop playing with the American people. We are paying attention. Let's go on to the next candidate, Cory Booker. What a good one this is. Also tied at 1.6%.
Thank you, Dana. Last week, the President of the United States attacked an American city, calling it a disgusting, rat-infested, rodent mess.
Stop. Okay, I got to go into this. You're talking about Baltimore. Don't say an American city so that you can make people think it's all over the place and he's attacking everywhere. He attacked one city, Baltimore, which is described as a rat-infested city. That is a fact. They did a documentary that showed up on PBS in 2018 talking about the rat infestation of the city. So to describe it as it has been put in a documentary is a fact. It is a fact that the city has had 3 mayors that have had issues with corruption and had to resign or leave because of corruption and criminal acts. So yeah, it's a mismanaged, bad city that is high crime, 191 homicides this year alone, one of the most dangerous places in America, according to, I believe it was CNN's poll itself. So yes, that's not racist. That's a fact. If you don't like the fact, that's another thing altogether. And by the way, how would you describe San Francisco, where human feces fills the city and homelessness is rampant? If I say it's homeless, it's a capital of homelessness. If I say it's a capital of human feces on the ground, which are factual statements, is that make me racist? No. By the way, what is the race of Baltimore? What's the race of New York City? What's the race of Los Angeles? They don't have races. They're cities. They're not people. So stop playing games with the public. Let's go back to his words.
Nation that understands that these tired, old language,
Stand by, Senator.
I will stand by.
Put him in jail for what? What crime did he do?
Please stand by.
Where's the crime? There is no crime. A very disrespectful outburst by the...
Please continue, Senator.
Thank you very much. Donald Trump, from Charleston to Baltimore to even the border, is using the tired old language of demagogues, of fearmongers, of racists to try to divide our country.
It is not demagoguery. It is not racist. It is not fear-mongering to say a fact. If a fact exists, it is not demagoguery. The Baltimore Sun reports that there are 191 homicides in Baltimore, in particular, 34 of them in the Western Baltimore district of Maryland 7, which is for Elijah Cummings. That is a fact. That is not racist. It doesn't matter whether Cummings is black, white, Hispanic, or anything else. It doesn't matter if the residents, which happen to be about 55% black, it doesn't matter, because the fact is they have 191 murders, homicides in Baltimore, and 34 of them in the district of Elijah Cummings. That is a fact. That's not fear-mongering. These are facts. Stop trying to use emotional politics. Keep going.
Against itself. We know who Donald Trump is, but in this election, the question is, who are we as a people? We have serious problems in America. We have deep wounds and seriously, deeply rooted challenges.
Okay, we do have deep wounds, which are from the Democratic Party constantly reminding us about racism. Everything is racist. To say that there is a fact is racist. To say that you have an opinion is racist. If you don't agree with the Democratic Socialist gender identity politics, then it's all racist. It's all sexist. It's all an ism, and there's a problem. That's being promoted by the Democratic Party. That's not the American people. There is a difference, and we should note that. Go on.
Desperately need to heal as a nation and move forward. Because we know in this country that our fates are united, that we have a common destiny. The call of this election is the call to unite in common cause and common purpose. That's how we will beat Donald Trump. That's how I will beat Donald Trump. And as your president, that's how I will govern and move us forward together.
I truly don't believe so.
Senator Kamala Harris. This is an inflection moment in the history of our country. I think we all know that. This is a moment in time that is requiring us each as individuals and collectively to look in a mirror and ask a question. That question being, who are we?
Stop. Yes, who are we? Who are we as Americans? Are we socialists? Because that's not what America was created on. Are we all racist? Because that's not what America is. You're implying the negatives here, but let's hear what is it? What are you? Well, we'll find out in just a second.
And I think most of us know that part of the answer to that question is we are better than this. So this then becomes a moment that we must fight for the best of who we are. And fight, of course, we will. And this is not a new fight for us as Americans. We have always been prepared to fight for our ideals. We have always been a nation that fights for the best of who we are. And I'll tell you, I come from fighters. My parents met when they were active in the civil rights movement. My sister Maya and I joke, We grew up surrounded by a bunch of adults who spent full time marching and shouting about this
right
thing.
there. Okay, so we're seeing, you said a lot of things there. Has America been a nation where we've always tried to move forward? Absolutely. Where we've tried to achieve things? Absolutely. Where we try to get equality? Absolutely. That's why women got the right to vote here in America, while many places in the world didn't have it, and even to this day still don't. That's why slavery ended in America, while around the world, even today, it still exists. So yes, America tries to achieve the best. That doesn't mean that where you're trying to take us towards progressive gender identity politics is a positive, and that's what she started off with, identity politics. That's not American. We're not based on that. We're not limited to that. People are more than just their identity. I'm more than just my skin tone. I am more than just my heritage. I am a human being who thinks and has ideas. So we should respect that. She also brings up the fact that her background is political activism, protesting. And she's so, maybe because she was born into this environment where she's dealing with nothing but adults who are protesting, she doesn't realize we won. You are a United States senator. That's what they were protesting for. The ability for you as a woman and a person of color to be able to be a senator and to be a candidate for the United States presidency. Something that was unheard of in the generations before. You won. And now you're still protesting and you're still saying, well, it's still unfair. Why is it unfair? You won. Because of the very fact of the success that you have had, you won. Why is it unfair? Why is it still something that's a problem? I don't understand it. Let's go back.
Justice. And I am prepared to march with you, to fight with you for the best of who we are and to successfully prosecute the case of 4 more years of Donald Trump. And against him.
Okay, and you had to throw that little bit out there because you forgot, because you're just throwing out bullet points at this point. But let's add in one thing. And by the way, Kamala Harris is at 11%. She's number 4 in the list, according to Real Clear Politics. And she is one of my 2 choices that I believe will be vice president and or president for the Democratic Party. She's going to be one of the faces that are going to be out there saying, I'm a woman, I'm a person of color, and I'm going to try and beat the evil, racist, sexist Donald Trump and Republicans. I don't believe in that, but that's the message that I'm getting from the social justice warriors of the Progressive Party of the Democratic Party. That doesn't mean all Democrats. It means that faction, that fringe. But I have to ask you, what are you really offering? Again, all of these candidates we're hearing over and over again, we're going to take America somewhere. Where are you going? Again, this is the hope and change. This is the transition. You want to move forward. Where are you trying to take America to? You want to prosecute people for winning an election that you didn't like. What, we should prosecute you too? I say this, there's a lot of problems, but we'll go on because we're almost done.
Vice President Joe Biden.
Tonight, I think Democrats are expecting some engagement here, and I expect we'll get it. I'm running for president to restore the soul of this country. You know, we have a president, as everybody's acknowledged here, every day is ripping at the social fabric of this country. But no one man has the capacity to rip that apart. It's too strong. We're too good.
And I agree with part of what he just said. I agree that America is too strong. We're too strong a nation for any one person. And that's why it's not Donald Trump. It's all of the news stations, MSNBC, CNBC, CNN, ABC, CBC, essentially 90% of all the news media and the entire Democratic Party and all the Democratic candidates for the presidency, they're all beating up on our president every single day. And that's what's destroying the social fabric. People like Representative Ilhan Omar is destroying the fabric of America. People like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are destroying the fabric of America. The push for the Democratic Party to become more like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, this squad, that's destroying America. And it's not one person doing that. That's an entire party with an entire news media behind them. So you're right, Joe. It's not one person. It is your party and the ideals of your party. But we will go on.
Just look at this stage, made up of very diverse people from diverse backgrounds. Went on to be mayors, senators, governors, congresswomen, members of the cabinet, and yes, even a vice president. Mr. President, this is America.
Stop.
And we are strong and great because of this diversity.
Well, yes, America is great because it's diverse. I agree with you there. But who's on that stage? A bunch of rich elitists. They are not the average American. They don't make the income of the average American. Many of them have done nothing but be in government all their lives and not hold a real job. That is not America. And guess what? The diversity of America, if America is a success because of diversity, like with Kamala Harris, then why are we saying that America is not diverse based on your policies? Your policies are saying that there's a need for social justice because America is not fair. But yet you're pointing to a stage and a party that you claim is actually diverse, and you can't have both. And we're hearing this from the rich, white, old male that your own party hates. Your party hates rich, white, old, straight males. That's what you are, Joe. And you're telling me that somehow you're going to represent your own party that doesn't like you? I don't understand it, but let's go on.
Mr. President, not in spite of it, Mr. President. So, Mr. President, let's get something straight. We love it. We are not leaving it. We are here to stay, and we're certainly not going to leave it to you.
Okay. So those are the final words of the debate, and let's remember something. He's talking directly to President Trump. He should be talking directly to the nation, not just Democrats, not just social Democrats, not just progressives, but the nation. But that's not what he's doing. And he's pushing an ideology that really isn't even his own. Because to be fair, you're looking at more of he's more of a, well, not a moderate, but he's not a progressive. He's not a social justice warrior, which is where his party is going to. We've heard Tom Perez, who's the Democratic National Committee chairman, saying that that's where he wants to take the entire Democratic Party, towards socialism, towards communism. So we hear Biden, and he's an outlier. He's foreign, and that's why he's been falling in the polling, and why we're seeing Elizabeth Warren, a fake American Indian, moving up, and we see Kamala Harris moving up, a woman of color. So I stand by my position. Now, I do want to say that I believe at the end of the day that we are still going to see that on this stage, 4 people are going to be gone before September. That's going to be Bill de Blasio. Bill de Blasio may stick around because he has his own money, but he may be out before September. We're going to see Bennett. We're going to see Inslee. We're going to see Gillibrand. They're all going to drop, I think, by September. And in particular, I think Jay Inslee, within a week, is going to be out of this race. He's probably the next one out, following Eric Swalwell. I think that Michael Bennett is going to be following him very, very quickly. You'll probably see Gillibrand not too far behind. I think that after September, unless things change, you're going to see Castro, you're going to see Yang. They're going to be out of this race. Booker is not too far behind. He's been falling down over and over again. He's been consistently for the last 7 months at 2.3%, and now he's down to 1.6. He's failing. He's not winning. Did he do well in the debate? Sure. He doesn't have national interest. None of them have national interest except for Joe Biden, who's an old, white, rich male, straight, which the party hates. You've got Bernie Sanders, who is his counterpart. He is a communist, rich, white, straight male, and that's going to get him kicked out because he has too much success. He was bought off by Hillary Clinton. He's out, and they both have been falling in the polling. We see Elizabeth Warren moving up because of her fake credentials that allowed her to make a success so much that she gets $400,000 for teaching one class, makes her part of the 1%. And you have Kamala Harris, who is a woman of color, and that's all she really needs in the gender identity politics of the Democratic Party today. Guess what? I ask again, has anyone on this stage donated even $1 voluntarily to the IRS, even as they ask you, the American people, to pay more in taxes? Has any of them, they're talking about single-payer health care, Well, let's think about it. They also said that they supported Obamacare and said that that would be perfect and answer all the problems. And it failed, just like Republicans and conservatives told you it would. And they're telling you that you're going to be able to keep your doctors and keep your health care, even though they're telling you at the same time that it can't exist in a single payer environment. I'm sorry, that doesn't make sense. They're promising you gimmicks like trying to buy you for $1,000 that they won't give you for money that doesn't exist. And if you really wanted to have some fun, Mr. Asian who does math, which I think is, according to your party, a racist statement, then I have to say, guess what? Let's do the math. Add up all the money from the free college, free education, free health care, paying people a higher minimum wage, paying people a guaranteed minimum amount, a national income. And when you take that into account, you're looking at trillions of dollars more than the trillions we spend. You're talking about $10-20 trillion a year. If you were to do all of that, you're talking about $10 trillion. We don't have it. Where is this money coming from? Are we going to do what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the brilliant economist with an economy degree, and just print money? Is that stupid? Well, these are my thoughts about it. I've gone on for a little while. I hope you found it interesting of my commentary about the first opening statements on the Democratic July 2020 debate, night number 2. Tell me what you think I got right. What did I get wrong? What did I not understand in the opening statements that these candidates have mentioned? And tell me, where do you stand with that? Do you think I'm right that Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, they're the two candidates that'll either be president or vice president? Do you think that it's going to be all women versus Trump? Do you think they're going to use the gender and identity cards to try and win the election? And should they? Well, we'll find out soon enough. I thank you for being here with us. I hope you had a great time, and I look forward to speaking with you again very, very soon.